Hey guys, it's Anna and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a fragrance declutter, but before I get into the fragrances, I wanted to go over this beautiful bag that I received from Teddy Blake. This video is not sponsored, but this was sent to me. The brand reached out to me and asked if I wanted to pick one of their bags, and I was like, yes, of course. I've actually heard a decent amount about this brand here on YouTube, so I was really excited when I got their email. I chose this one because I love wearing black, okay? It goes with everything, and it always looks good. So I got this baby black on black, okay? Black with the black, like dark gunmetal hardware. I love it. And it's also a crossbody, which is my absolute favorite. I'm not big into carrying purses. I want something that is nice and convenient. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to be lugging around anything, you know? So that's why the size is perfect for me too. I just like to carry my essentials with me. I'm not really big into hauling luggage, but that's just me. I know a lot of people love their cute, big, ginormous bags, and that's a vibe as well. But this is perfect for me. And I already knew this was going to be really high quality from all of the videos I've seen on Teddy Blake, but when I opened this up, I just got like this glorious whiff of luxurious leather, and I was like, oh, you know that new bag feeling? This is the Ava 9-inch design, and they have so many different styles on their website. Not only different styles, but a huge colorway for each purse option. And I would describe the brand to be very chic, timeless, and minimalistic in their style. They're really classy. Everything is made out of real Italian leather, and these are much more affordable in comparison to those really high-end luxury designer handbags, but you're not compromising on the quality at all. This is fantastic. And you can wear this different ways as well. If you just wanted a handbag moment, you can clip off the strap here and just hold it as such. So this features a soft pebbled leather, and I like that this is structured, but it's not hella stiff. You know what I mean? It's movable, it feels comfortable, it's lightweight, but it feels really high quality. So to open this up, you just kind of bring these flaps up, and then you have a suede interior, very straightforward inside. We just have a little slip pocket and then also a zipper pocket. Feet on the bottom so your bag doesn't get dirty. It also comes with this little guy if you want to dress it up a little bit. I prefer the more simplistic look, but if you wanted to tie this around, you know, just to give you an idea. And then of course it'll come with the dust bag. So I'll give you a little 360 view. This is actually perfect timing because I really did need a black chic classy bag. I have a lot of like black streetwear kind of purses. So yeah, I'll leave all of the Teddy Blake info down in the description box below. They also gave me a discount code for $30 off if you're interested in the brand. Moving on to the fragrances. I am a little nervous making this video because there's a couple fragrances in here that I have really loved. I've really loved them. I've had my moment with them, and it just became time to let a couple of them go. The first one being Essential Parfums. Okay, gosh. This is gonna get difficult to get through. Okay, the first one being Essential Parfums Divine Vanille. Now, I hyped the living crap out of this perfume for a long time, like specifically the beginning portion of me uploading fragrance videos on YouTube. And to this day, I think it is a fantastic fragrance. I fully stand by my review, okay? It's incredible. And I know a lot of you have tried that fragrance out as well and love it, own it, rock it. And the reason this was one of my most loved perfumes, it was like a gold mine to me, is because it was so similar to one of my favorite fragrances of all freaking time, Parfum de Marly Herod. So I think Divine Vanille is stunning, but if I am going to battle the two, you know, neck and neck, Herod comes out as the winner. You know, if we're comparing, Herod is just the better blend. Herod is more potent, a tad sweeter, richer, smoother, and the notes are more pronounced. And Divine Vanille on my skin has just a slight sourness to it, but not in a bad way. It's just like a little slight aspect of the fragrance on me. And I only started to pick that up the more and more I was wearing it. And again, it wasn't a bad thing, but just when we're comparing the two, I preferred Harrod. So just being honest with myself, I was like, this is a bit redundant, you know, to have two big bottles in my collection that are so similar. And Harrod was just the one that I loved more. So I decided to keep Harrod and pass Divine Vanille along. But if Harrod is out of your price range, I am telling you, Divine Vanille is incredible. I think it's so underrated and it is so damn good. And they're actually also made by the same perfumer. So the next one that I let go of was Reminiscence Dragee. And this perfume, okay, smells like almond powdered sugar donuts, like vanillic powdered sugar donuts with an almond kind of like marzipan filling. It's powdery, a little musky. It has that orange blossom presence that never goes into the territory of being sickly sweet or syrupy, but it adds that kind of like white floral dainty feminine character. So this is a great perfume. You know, the thing is, the more fragrances that you bring into your collection, at least for me, I feel like, well, okay, I've always been hella picky, like ridiculously picky with my perfumes, but something that's always been really important to me when it comes to my fragrance collection, I have to love everything. I need to wear everything, and everything needs to feel like an extension of me, because a fragrance can smell beautiful, but if I'm not feeling like it's totally me, it's not something that I'm going to be gravitating towards all the time, you know? And I want everything in my collection to get used. I want to be through and through obsessed with everything. So I really hold my fragrances to an extremely high standard. And I truthfully don't pull for almond fragrances very often. Some of my favorite almond fragrances are Soir Exclusive from Navitus, Velvet Tonka from BDK off the top of my head, but they're not fragrances that I pull for all the time, because almond as a note isn't something that I gravitate towards super often. But when I'm in the mood for an almond vibe, like, those are my favorites. I love them. And I was finding that when I was in the mood for an almond scent, I wanted like an edgy almond, like a cool almond, you know? And Dragee is a pretty girl, dainty, soft, powdery almond, you know? A very yummy gourmand, super likable, and it's at a great price point as well. So I think it's great. I still recommend it if it sounds like your cup of tea. I just ended up wanting something with more more pizzazz, you know? Next one I let go of, I think I kind of alluded to this, or maybe I flat out told you, I don't remember, but I did get rid of Jean Paul Gaultier's La Belle Le Parfum. This is a very strong fragrance, so like fair warning, don't overspray this one. And it is hella sweet and like really flirty. That is like a flirt on steroids. It's a real girly girl kind of fragrance. I totally picture Megan Fox wearing this kind of perfume. It's very dark and seductive, not dark as like a heavy, intimidating dark, but it has like a dark quality to it. Like the person that comes to mind when I smell this is like a really gorgeous bombshell brunette. This is a tonka bean explosion, okay? Tonka bean, vanilla, we have pear. I fell head over heels at first when I smelled that fragrance, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so freaking sexy. And the amount of oh gosh, I wore that to work one day, and the amount of compliments that I got was mad. I was like, okay, maybe this was a little bit much for the workplace. It didn't really fit the vibe, but I smelled good. Yeah, so it just ended up being too sweet for me, okay? It's a powerhouse, it's very strong. It just ended up being too much for me, but it's great, okay? If you're into your very girly perfumes, you want to smell sweet, you want to smell flirty, you want a fragrance that's going to probably attract men and women, frankly. This is it. The next two that I decluttered are from Micallef. The first one being Mon Parfum. Now, this perfume seriously vibes with Chanel's Coco Mademoiselle. They are in the same scent family for sure. Now, this kind of scent family smells like perfume, if you know what I mean. Fragrance houses like Chanel and Chloe, for example, are fragrance houses that are pretty well known for delivering fragrances that smell like perfume. And for the most part, I don't really gravitate towards fragrances that smell like perfume. I have a couple of exceptions, but like my Coco Mademoiselle, I think is a masterpiece, iconic, legend. But I am going to be honest, I have worn, I have the intense version. I have worn that fragrance once since I've gotten it. It's incredible, it's lovely, but it's not something that I actively see myself reaching for. And so for that reason, since it really vibes with Coco Mademoiselle, I just don't want it to sit there. But if you like that kind of DNA, Mon Parfum is beautiful. It's like a caramel passion fruit twist to the Coco Mademoiselle DNA, and it also has a bit of like a Mugler's Angel undertone in there, which I personally really like. It has a heavy patchouli in here, but nothing like overbearing and strong like it is in Angel. It's strong in this perfume, but it's not on that level of Angel. You also get that same, orange quality that Coco Mademoiselle has. We have orange blossom and mandarin orange in Mon Parfum. It has a woody presence, floral, earthy, but in a very classy way. But yeah, it's just not a DNA that I'm reaching for. The other Micallef fragrance, when I hauled this, I let you guys know that I was on the fence about it in terms of like keeping it in my collection. At the time, it was a big like, and it remained that way. So I'm talking about Gaiac. And when I filmed that video, they were discontinuing Gaiac, but it turns out they were just discontinuing the bottle that it comes in. So Gaiac is now available on their website in a beautiful new bottle. I really love the kind of rebranding that they're doing because it makes everything look more cohesive. With bottles having this kind of design, I love it. But then of course, all the fragrances have their own little design twist to them, but with this general concept. Gaiac is predominantly a very woody, spicy fragrance, and then secondary vanilla. This is definitely vibing with Replicas By the Fireplace, and I actually do prefer Gaiac to By the Fireplace because By the Fireplace to me smells like a candle, a very good smelling candle, but nevertheless a candle. Gaiac smells more pronounced, more high quality, more like a fragrance to me. However, it is very smoky. The Gaiac wood note, obviously, is very prominent, very smoky. You also have a lot of clove in this fragrance, which a little bit I like. We have that nice little spice in there, but too much, it really screams holiday time, which I don't have a problem with, but when there's a lot of clove in a fragrance, it can tend to kind of overwhelm or overcome the fragrance, whatever. Anyway, but it's not something I want a blast of. It's very warm and comforting. We have a beautiful, rich amber in here, and then a vanilla. And I actually smelled a fragrance that seriously vibes with Gaiac that I love. Okay, I have a bottle on its way. I'm going to talk about it, and it's more affordable. I love that. And it's totally encompassing the vibe of Gaiac, where it's all like toasty and warm and perfect for like fall, winter, woody, vanilla, spicy, all of that, but not as smoky. And I find it to be smoother all around. So I'm excited to share that with you. Next one I decluttered was Elizabeth and James Nirvana Bourbon. Now this is a fantastic, affordable option for those of you who are looking for a woody vanilla. It's a simplistic perfume. You know, it's not anything crazy complex. It's a woody vanilla. Predominantly the oak note. It's mainly woody, and then secondary vanilla. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, but it smells similar to Guerlain's Spiritueuse de la Vanille. So again, great option if you need something more affordable. But because I had both in my collection and because I preferred Spiritueuse de la Vanille, I was pulling for that one way more. And it's like whenever I would wear Nirvana Bourbon, I would love it. I would smell great. But in the back of my head, I'd be like, but Spiritueuse de la Vanille just like takes me to that other level, you know? And Spiritueuse de la Vanille is definitely more on the vanilla aspect in comparison. It's definitely more expensive, definitely more. Yes, I know. I recognize that, but it also smells way more expensive. It's more luxurious. There's more components to the fragrance that just make it this unreal vanilla, like literally one of my top vanillas. It's in my top two. Micallef's Note Vanille and Spiritueuse de la Vanille are my top two, okay? Top two, quote me. So yeah, you know, it went to a better home. My perfumes have to be loved. They have to get use, and I don't want to get too redundant. And if I do have perfumes that are maybe a little redundant in my perfume collection, I need them to individually just blow me away. I don't want to be kind of craving another perfume while wearing a different one, you know? The next one that I decluttered is Valentino's Myrrh Assoluto. Now, this is a discontinued fragrance, and I had a little bit of a toxic trait earlier in my fragrance journey. I don't know why I find that phrase to be just a little bit cringy, but whatever, it's fine. I felt some serious FOMO. When I heard something was being discontinued, I felt a need to go sample it and then get it while I could before it was gone. And then I realized that that wasn't serving me, because I have a channel and I'm not going to talk about perfumes that are discontinued, because like, what does that do? That's not helpful. Like, what's the point in raving about a scent that you can no longer get? No, I could be better using that money for samples that are not discontinued, or purchasing perfumes that I love that are not discontinued and creating content that way. But anyway, I bought this fragrance before that realization. I think this was actually the last fragrance I did that with. And then after I bought this one, I was like, no, enough. I think Myrrh Assoluto is an amazing fragrance, and it smells way more expensive than it is. I never would have guessed that this was a designer perfume. It definitely smells niche. It smells thought out, complex. Very well done. I wouldn't change it at all. I think it's exactly what it needs to be. But I have realized over time, okay, I never thought that there would be a vanilla that wouldn't be for me. But in fact, there is one. When there is a very heavy, thick, sweet vanilla paired with very dark notes. It could be something like myrrh, leather, oud, something of the sort. That pairing, I find, although I think the scent itself objectively smells incredible, it can become really cloying for me, and unfortunately nauseating for me to actually wear. Like, just smelling it briefly, like if I was to smell that on someone else, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you smell incredible. But for me to smell that all day consistently, it's too much. It's too much for me. And I had a very similar experience with Initio's Absolute Aphrodisiac. That is definitely something that falls into that kind of realm, like a very heavy, sweet, creamy vanilla mixed with those really heavy animalic notes. We have castoreum and leather. Again, the scent itself, I was like, ooh, this smells really good. One day, I would absolutely be all over it. It'd be incredible. It would give me like this like gourmand, delectable, like sexy kind of aura. And then another day, it would just be nauseating to me and just like too much. Myrrh Assoluto, unfortunately, fits into that category for me. There's myrrh, leather, vanilla, and also ylang ylang in here, which gives it even more of a creamy quality. So overall gorgeous, an amazing performer. It smells very high class, expensive. It just didn't end up working for me. I also decluttered Van Cleef and Arpels Rose Rouge, and I told you guys this was on the very borderline for me of being too rosy, but that it was okay, but it was right on the borderline. That's the danger of being on the borderline, because at any moment you never know if it can shift. I still say it is a great rose perfume. It is a beautiful, classy, professional, but also fun, jammy rose perfume. But I'm so picky with rose. I don't usually, like 9 times out of 10, I don't enjoy a rose dominant perfume. If it is going to be a rose dominant perfume, I want it to be like a pink rose, a youthful, soft, crisp rose, instead of the more mature traditional one. Not that I'm saying Rose Rouge is that, but like I said, it was on the borderline for me. And then just, I put a hefty dent in that perfume. So after a long time of wearing it, I was just like, you know what? I'm kind of feeling like it's leaning just a little bit too rosy for me now, but it's a good one, okay? It's rose, raspberry, blackcurrant, vanilla, and then you have notes like pink pepper, patchouli, vetiver, musk that ground it, give it that sophistication. This is a very versatile perfume. It could be worn pretty much year round and for like literally any occasion. It fits the workplace, it fits going out, because it has that fun character because of the fruity notes, but then it's also classy and sophisticated, just a nice feminine perfume. I also decluttered Swiss Arabian's Casablanca. Can you guess? Can you take a wild guess as to why I decluttered this? I'm sure most of you already know. Ended up being too sweet for me. Ended up being too gourmand for me. I love gourmand fragrances. It's one of my favorite categories in perfume, but I'm particular about how it's done. I don't want something that smells like a literal gourmand, like a literal drink, literal food. And this is pretty much that. Casablanca is pretty much that. Casablanca to me smells like a caramel apple spice from Starbucks, just drenched in caramel drizzle. It's very good. It's so cozy. It is literally fall vibes, cozy by the fireplace, eating caramel apples, drinking caramel apple spice cider in a bottle. And I took my time with this one. I wore it a couple times because I was like, maybe it will grow on me. And it's a really well done perfume. Some days it would definitely be like a literal gourmand, and then other days, like in the dry down, it would shift to have a really nice woodiness in the base, which I really loved that aspect of it. But just overall, it ended up not being something that, you know, was me, spoke to me. But there are a lot of perfumes on the market that fall into this kind of category, like a gourmand, warm, appley, caramel, cinnamony sort of experience. And this is amazing because it's so dang affordable and it smells incredible, has great lasting power for those of you who love your gourmands. You want to smell like a caramel apple explosion. This is a great one. Oh, I'm gonna die. Okay. I think my heart rate just went up a little bit. This next one, I have been very nervous to admit, to talk about. I can't believe it. I cannot believe I decluttered this. It like pains my soul a bit, I'm not gonna lie, because I really resonated with this fragrance very quickly, like immediately, and I was just blown away by it. It was the best tea scent, and I still agree. The best tea scent I've ever put my nose on to this date. Vilhelm's Dear Polly, I said it. I know. I fully stand by the fact that this is a beautiful, very well done, niche quality, I mean, I'd hope so, you know, incredible, unique, sparkling tea scent. This is a moderate performer perfume, so as I normally do with my moderately performing perfumes, I overspray them. Yeah. And I usually don't have a freaking problem with that, you know what I mean? Because it helps with the performance tremendously. And yes, it definitely did help with the performance, but With specific perfumes, I find that their DNA is meant to be enjoyed more as something that you catch whiffs of throughout the day, as opposed to an everlasting, ongoing scent. And that ended up being my experience, unfortunately, with Dear Polly. It's a blast of that black tea note, and I have come to find with tea fragrances that they leave an amazing first impression because they're crisp and fresh and rejuvenating and just very pretty scents usually. And then with the more wear that I get out of them, I'll still think that they're great scents, but they will no longer really feel like me. I'm kind of discovering that although I really appreciate a tea scent and I think that the tea note smells great, it's not usually something that feels like me. And like I said, that's so important to me. The perfume that I wear has to feel like me. I don't want to feel like I'm wearing someone else. And by overspraying Dear Polly, that tea note just really overtook everything and became very intense and piercing. And maybe you know, but once you overspray a scent that you should not overspray, it's like it's done. That's it. So this is an aromatic, fresh, crisp, green, citrusy fragrance. It also has a sweet green apple note that just gives this perfume a sparkling quality. It's so pretty. And then it's grounded by this clean but earthy oak moss. You have an amber that isn't a warm amber. It's more of like an ambergris kind of vibe. And then a musk. It's a very pretty, cool girl kind of fresh perfume. And then another tea fragrance, you know, it was this fragrance that it just kind of dawned on me where I was like, maybe even though I really enjoy tea scents, the actual smell of them, I literally love them, but maybe they just don't feel like me when I actually go to wear them. So the last one I'm going to talk about today is Armani Prive's Thé Yulong. Yes, I literally bought it, wore it once from the full bottle, and now I'm passing it along. It's such a freaking damn shame, because look at this. Look what I got. I got the limited edition bottle. I'm so mad. I'm so pissed that this is not going to stay, because the only Armani Prive fragrance I own is Rouge Malachite, and I just wanted it to have a pal. See, it smells so good. It smells so pretty. There's no reason I should not be fully feeling myself when wearing these, but for some freaking reason, the tea note just didn't end up feeling like me when I like fully wear this, you know? I was a good girl and I sampled this first and I loved that sample and I bought this immediately, full price. I never do that, but I couldn't find it anywhere on discount. Well, to be fair, I did buy it on Selfridges, so it is cheaper there. Bought it immediately for the springtime, because this is spring in a bottle for sure. I wore my sample for a whole freaking day. I tested that baby out and I was like, love it. Classy, beautiful, stunning. And then I wore the bottle for a whole day. And I just wasn't feeling like myself. This is definitely in the same scent family as Dear Polly, but you can tell that Dear Polly is the niche fragrance and this is the designer, but this does not smell like just a designer that you pick up from Ulta or Sephora. It absolutely smells like, you know, the luxury designer end. But I think that this is more crowd pleasing, more agreeable in comparison. Like Dear Polly, this is a very nice, fresh, clean citrus tea scent. You have a blend of green and black tea, citrus, ambrette, vetiver, jasmine. This is very chic, timeless, just pretty and elegant, perfect for every day, perfect for work, great for a signature scent, even though I think it would struggle in I think it would struggle a little bit in the fall and winter. And I do think that this gets better the longer it sits on your skin because, you know, first spray, it was like, ooh, this is pleasant. It's nice. It's fresh. It's pretty. But it's not like wow factor. Like, oh my gosh, like this is something new, you know? So again, with this one, I would recommend, you know, not going to town with it, because I think it is best worn just getting those beautiful whiffs of it throughout the day. And the scent smells so much prettier just in your sillage as opposed to putting your nose directly to your skin. It has a little bit more of like this sparkling factor in the air. This is somehow casual and elegant at the same time. It's effortlessly pretty. I'm really bummed that I'm gonna be letting this go. But everything needs to jive with me 100% if I'm gonna wear it, you know? So I fully appreciate the scent. And it's okay if something doesn't feel totally like me, because it's gonna feel totally like someone else. And by the way, this isn't a limited edition perfume, it's just a limited edition packaging, just so you know. So that wraps up my declutter. They've all moved on to better homes, except for the Armani Prive. I wanted to talk about that one first before I let it go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. If you want to see me in any more videos, I'd appreciate it so, so much. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!